Well, the two teams I wanted to go to the finals are no longer there. They're not there. We're getting a rematch. Ugh, we're getting a rematch. It's the last thing I wanted. If you watch my video about the Western Conference Finals and my predictions, I did think the Florida Panthers would beat the Carolina Hurricanes, but I did want the Carolina Hurricanes to reverse the curse. They did. They won one game, but I wanted them to win 4 games. They didn't do that. And then I wanted the Dallas Stars to win. I picked the Edmonton Oilers because I picked against the Oilers the last 2 series and every first round for the last 4 years. So I picked the Oilers to reverse jinx it. Dallas. That didn't work. Dallas lost. They lost both in 5 games. It was a bit of a bloodbath in terms of the Western Conference Finals, and now we got a repeat. We got the back-to-back Stanley Cup Finals of Edmonton and Florida. We're going to see where this one holds. Now, in terms of trophies, Florida didn't touch it. Edmonton touched it. I know there's people who care about that. I'm not really too worried about it. I think it's cool though that Edmonton touched it last year. Now they're it makes sense that they're like, you know what, we shouldn't touch it this year, or we didn't touch it last year. Well, they were holding it, pulling. McDavid's they are trying to reverse the curse. I think that's perfect. It's a mentality thing as well. You go into that and you're like, okay, we're not going to touch it. We're not going to touch it. We're not going to touch it. And then you lose. You're so beaten down by that loss. You touch that trophy now and you're like, we're owning it. We're boom, boom. That's a mentality thing. Now you're going to go into the Stanley Cup Finals with a better mentality. Especially if Edmonton started off with a good mentality in the finals last season, it would be it would be a different story because Florida took 1-2-3. Edmonton took 1-2-3. And then all came down to Game 7. One of those games flips. And the storyline stays the same. Edmonton wins in 6, right? Edmonton just has to reverse their mentality. It's not about curses. I think that it actually affects your mentality when you do stuff like that. And I'm saying this over and over again for no reason. But let's hop into the stats about I look like a crazy, but let's hop into the stats and see. Now, the only stats I like to look at are player points. I want to see who's hot, who's not, right? Because you could look at a power play stat throughout the season. A team could have a mid-power play, 15th in the league. Now, you go to the playoffs, they have the best power play in the league. Then, they have the best power play in the league through 3. And then that last series of the Stanley Cup Final, where it matters the most, their power play shits the bed. There we go. You know what? I'll say it. Shits the bed. Then, now, they lose that series because their power play wasn't that great. Everything could change. It's a different team. It's a different structure every time. That's why I don't like to look at the team stats, because our power play could really affect it. They're going to take a lot of penalties, this team's very, very disciplined. Now, do I think Florida's disciplined? Hell no. I see 46 penalty minutes. I see 29 penalty minutes and 26 penalty minutes. I immediately looked over at who those players were. They're all Florida Panthers. I see 22. Let's see. That's a Carolina Hurricane. Oh, I see 23. That's a Florida Panther. I see 4. That's a Florida Panther. So you got to watch out for him. He's going to be on the ice a lot. I got 26. That's a Florida Panther. Now, granted, I do think some of these are 10s. I think Ekblad got a 10. There's no goddamn way Brad Marchand has 46 penalty minutes. And there's no 10 in there. That's a great stat to go search. But that's another thing I want to look at. Penalty minutes. So, Oilers, McDavid has 4, Nugent Hopkins has 4, Bouchard has 4, Draisaitl has 2. That is minimum. Their top players are going to be on the ice. Now, could it change? Yes. This series could get really chippy. McDavid could get really mad. McDavid could take a dumb penalty. That could always happen. And just because it's only 4, and what's the next Oiler on this list? Oh, they're all the way down there. Well, because it's their top 5. It's their big 4. It's their big 4, right? It's Bouchard, Nugent Hopkins, Draisaitl, McDavid, right? And McDavid and Draisaitl have 26 and 25 points in the playoffs. 6 goals, 27 goals, 18 assists. These guys are your lethal. These are the 2 you have to shut down. I think Florida did a great job at the start of the series, but then they kind of let off the gas a little bit. I think Florida comes in stronger. I think they want to go in like the same way. I think Edmonton comes in with maybe a different strategy, tries to beat Florida early, and punch them down because that's what they have to do. Also, shout out to the Whitecaps. Great way to make it. What a Cinderella run. Don't be upset you lost so much. You earned the right to be there. I just want to say that. I'm not a big soccer fan, but man, that Whitecaps run was something special. It's a CONCACAF? I don't know how to say it correctly, but that was great. I have to take a little second to say that. Also, Abby, they're up 2-0. Let's go. Okay, Zach Hyman. Okay, is that the next person on the list? Apologies. Was that cut? And we're back. I might sound a little more clogged. Sorry, I just had to blow my nose. Okay, so we got Bouchard. And then we go from, he's 5th, by the way. So McDavid, Draisaitl, Nugent-Hopkins, and Bouchard are 4 of the top 5 scorers in the playoffs. That makes a little sense to me, right? I think the Oilers are very top-heavy. They're getting a lot of depth scoring, though, so I will give them that. This season, it feels like a lot of their other players stepped up. Their next player is 24th, and that's Vanderkam. Then Zach Hyman. You know what? I thought Corey Perry would be higher. Maybe I missed him. No, he's 30th. He only has 10 points. Corey Perry seems way more effective to me than he actually has been. I feel like maybe it was just more recency that he's been scoring. I feel like he's been scoring throughout, though. But now we'll look at the Florida Panthers. I like to look at the players scoring because you got to see Oilers are top heavy, and then you go down the list. You got guys like Zach Hyman, Evander Kane, Corey Perry. And then you go down more, you got Connor Brown. You go down more, and that's it. That's it, right? You got those 3 depth guys that have really stepped it up. You've got those top 4. So your big 4. Then, for Florida, if we look through the list here, you have more to shut down, but also, they kind of handcuff themselves if you look at penalty minutes. You got, first one is Barkov, then Bennett, then Kachuk. Oh my god. Then Verhaeghe, Marchand. In the top 15, they have more players than the Oilers. Go one more down, and 2 more down, you got Luostarinen and Reinhart, right? So Barkov is outside the top 5 with 17. He's tied with Bouchard. Bennett's got 16. That's 1 point behind both of those. Kachuk's also tied with Bennett with 16. That's 1 point behind them. 14, 13, 13. And penalty minutes, though, we got 23, 4, 46, 4. Then we got 29, 26, and 2. Barkov, really good at not taking penalties. Somehow, did Barkov get like a big thing? I thought he did. Weird. But, yeah, that is a huge discrepancy. Those big players, Bennett, Kachuk, Marchand, could end up spending a good amount of time in the box. They're not on the ice. But I do think that you got to look at it this way. Florida, as I'm going to erase the Kent Murphy sayings that I wrote down to say during my co-op games, because I have not that great of a memory. Florida, I think their thing is they're not top heavy. They're spread out. They have a good goalie. Good. You know what? I'm not just going to say good. I'm not going to say good consistent. I'm just going to say consistent goaltending. Consistent goaltending. If I spell anything wrong, I'm tired, okay? I just woke up. Consistent goaltending, and then Oilers are top heavy. They have good. They're having depth is stepping up. But they have inconsistent goaltending. I'll just put G. Right? So you got Florida, who are very spread out throughout in terms of the red dot is from my mic. They're spread out through their lineup. Their defense is pretty spread out. I think it might be a little more top heavy than usual, but it's a good spread. They have a really good spread out team. They're a team. Then they have that really good consistent goaltending with Sergei Bobrovsky. The Oilers, though, they're top heavy. And before you say anything, yes, they're top heavy. You have 4 of the best 5 scorers 4 of the top 5 scorers on your team. Yes. But then you go down, you have 3 left on that list of the top 50. And then it's gone. Meanwhile, right, so you got 7 on the top 50 scoring list. You have 1, 2, 3. Hopefully I don't miss any. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Scrolling a little weirdly. Oh, you know what? I did miss Connor Brown, so they have 8. Hey, I might be proven wrong here. 9. Okay. 9. So it is pretty good. Top 50, you know what? It's more even than I thought it would be. But I bet if you added the points, it would be a little more differential. Now, why am I just looking at this? Because I don't think team stats matter. I think it's how you have to look at these teams sometimes. I don't know. I could be off on a dumb tangent. Because power plays, like I said, they could switch. Goal scoring, it could switch. It could switch. It's a different series. You can't look at how the team performed throughout because the team could change up their strategies. Their team could be like, we have to focus more on defensive play, not score as much, but still, we're going to get our chances. And then this team's going to be like, hey, we got to score way more. We got to push. We got to punish them in their own end. Right? That's, I feel like, the Oilers' strategy is the whole playoffs. Their strategies could stay the same. I could be wrong. But I just feel like you have to look at the facts that Connor McDavid, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, Leon Draisaitl, Evan Bouchard, those 4 are going to be the difference makers. You'll have your depth scoring. They're going to be assisted by those guys. You have Florida, who are very just up and down, very good. They have really good defensemen as well. They have Ekholm back. This series is going to be so goddamn tight. I might have just gone on a tangent that makes 0 sense. Nobody's going to be like, what the hell is this guy talking about? What the fudge? But then I'm going to come back to this video and be like, look, Florida took too many penalties. That's why they lost the series. Or, look, Edmonton's top 4 didn't show up. Their bottom 6 did kind of show up, but Florida took advantage and rolled over them because they shut down those top 4. It's all about just this. Is your top 4 for Edmonton are the difference. Top 4 for Edmonton and Skinner. And then for Florida, it's Bobrovsky. Your whole team could play perfect. Bobrovsky has to stop everything. Because there's no way you could play perfect and McDavid will still have 3 breakaways a game. And you know what? You could look at the tapes and be like, we had an amazing game. Well, McDavid had 3 breakaways. It's Connor McDavid. Of course he's going to have 3 breakaways. For Edmonton, your top 4 has to show up. Your depth can't be the thing that saves you. You have to have the still consistent top 4, which is, I think, could happen. They're elite players. They're some of the best players in the league. Skinner also has to show up. Because even if your top 4 is scoring, Skinner has to, and Skinner has. He's had, like, how many shutouts? He's been amazing when hot. When Skinner plays good, he's amazing. When he's not playing good, right, it's consistency. Bob has been consistent. Skinner hasn't been consistent. Edmonton has to pray for goaltender consistency and their top 4 to not get shut down. Florida has to pray that they shut down their top 4 and Bob just plays the way he is. I think that's the difference makers in this series. I think that's what I was trying to make, the point I was trying to make this whole time. I am tired. I apologize. I will probably cut out if I repeated. But that is it for this one. This is the Stanley Cup Final preview between the Florida Panthers and the Edmonton Oilers. If you guys like this video, if you like me rambling, crazy nonsense for no reason, and uploading it because I think I have a point, up here in this video, this is the franchise mode video from last Friday. I'm so tired. I apologize. Where we went to the playoffs and we... You know what? Not going to spoil it. Then we got this video from Tuesday. I think I have to upload it a day late because of habits. Just subscribe right down there. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.